Thousands of entries from all over the world and features some well-known personalities as judges. The competition is for songwriting, and the top prize could provide a springboard into the big time. This year, 3 groups from BC have made it to the finals, and Elaine Young met one of them today.
You don't fall from my home, but I've grown to call East round my home. Gotta be on the side of the greedy, end up on the side of the needy.
It's tough to make it big in the music biz, but a group of young hip-hop artists from East Vancouver has taken a huge leap forward.
I'd like to see just music blow up. I'd love to have a hit.
She's unstoppable, you got to know she is my world. The sacrifice is unplottable.
And it may not be just a dream. One of A-Slam's songs has been selected as a finalist in the International Songwriting Competition out of 15,000 entries from 88 countries. It's called For You, and it's not about drugs, gangs, or the ghetto. It's about women, or to be more exact, their moms.
Being qualified by one of my mom, she is my friend.
Mom was so proud that she never told us that we were on welfare, but we were on welfare. You know what I mean? And I never knew that. And like, there's so much things that my parents never told me. And then when you're older, you find out and you kind of look back and be like, wow, like, I never knew that. And I just got to give back.
I mean, I'm 25, so you have 25 years of experience, you know, things that you've gone through, arguments, good times, bad times, you know, and you just have to somehow sum it up. I mean, if I could write an essay on it, I would, but it might be a really long essay.
Go ahead, shake your waist, wipe the sweat off your face. It's getting hot in this place.
The guys say their love of music helped them escape from getting sucked into a life of crime, and much of what they write about comes from their difficult teenage years.
Our family and drugs was pretty bad. So it pretty much tore our family apart in 3 levels.
When it comes down to it, you got to be who you really are. You got to be true to yourself. Because, I mean, people are going to pull your card up.
I ain't a sucker. Mama didn't raise no fool, cause mama didn't raise me fool. Get it? Good.
The winners of the songwriting competition will be announced next week, but just making it to the finals has been an amazing accomplishment for this group of friends from East Vancouver.
If the album does well, I see us doing a lot of tours, a lot of shows. I wouldn't say I'd be super famous or anything like that, but definitely, you know, if I have my voice heard at least once, it's good enough for me.
That's a fact. EV, God bless Lenavo, blaze the track, blaze the track, blaze the track.
The person I think that did that well was Michael Jackson. I really love that guy. I don't care whatever happened now. Like, I wear one.
He's weird now.
Yeah, but even when I perform, you can like I always wear one. I wear one glove on my hand just to like dedicate it to him, because he, the only man I think who you give him a microphone, and we did ours, and so both of them advanced the first round, so that was pretty phenomenal. We're like, you know, that's wicked, and that was that. We didn't think we were gonna go much further. And then we got the semi-final email, and that's when I started telling people, and I'm like, oh, like this shows that we've done something. Then we got the finalist email, man. It was pretty big, because it was 15, and they give you the number, like you're 1 of 15, and then you go through and you listen to everybody else's tracks, and yeah, it was a huge surprise, because like we haven't even put out a full album. Send me the link. He knows me, like he helped me a lot. It's Kyle Crack, and so he's like, send links instead, don't give me attachments, and then, but you just so the record you can't send unsolicited material. And Kelly Clarkson is the best example of that, because that was the label that she signed to before she did American Idol. She sent them a demo, and she got it back unopened. So you can't. So the thing with this is that if you win any of the top prizes, you go on demo disc of the ISC, which then they can send to record labels and actually get listened to. So that's a huge thing. In addition to that.
Pretty good for some prize from mainland East Vancouver.
Yeah, man, he's fat. It's a really great place to live, but there's also like there's a lot of bad stuff that happens in East Van. Like even worse now. Like the amount of prostitutes that we have on Kingsway compared to when I grew up is way worse. But you've always had like a pretty good drug trade going. Violence not so much, but more property crime. But then you also have, you know, high schools and community centers. So the thing with East Van, what I think about it is that you can really choose. You just think about actors that play like criminals in movies. They're not actually criminals, they're acting, right? So when you get in the booth, you know, you're an artist. And so I think when you're doing the interviews is when you can clarify whether or not that actually happened to you. I think I'm like the stereotypical cancer, like outgoing, I lose stuff, and then like, you know, not so good with the relationships. Family and drugs was pretty bad. So it pretty much tore our family apart. And still financially, that like we're not anywhere. Like so, you know, it's hard to go to school. Bring down tuition fees. But that upbringing, I wouldn't trade because it's kept me grounded to now. Like again, like I talk about that second half of East Van. Some people don't see that. Go to Main and Hastings at 3 in the morning. There's a world there that a lot of people have never seen before. Like it's awake.
Saying to Zane, I was like, you're kidding. And he was like, no, I entered in Wisconsin, I entered a couple other songs, but this is the only one that made it into the finals. I was like, so what's gonna happen now? And you're saying there's a voting process going on. He sent me the links, and you know, we just hold on to our seats and see what happens. If you don't get that break or know people high in the industry, then you're pretty much, I work full time, and then usually on my weekends I spend over 24 hours here in one day, easy. Because we're actually working on a group album right now, which is coming out in May. Got about $10,000 that you can somehow scrounge up and do something with. Then you can create your own studio and pretty much get a good, decent sound. If the album does well, I see us doing a lot of tours, a lot of shows. I wouldn't say I'd be super famous or anything like that, but definitely, you know, if I have my voice heard at least once, it's good enough for me. Have a positive message out there. Bring things into the light, make people aware of things. Zane called me, said I have this song, told me the concept of the song. I wasn't really feeling the concept of the song in the beginning, to tell you the truth. My only dream in life is to actually give my mom a really good life. It didn't take me too long to write the verse, but you have so many thoughts running through your head, right? I mean, I'm 25, so you have 25 years of experience, you know, things that you've gone through, arguments, good times, bad times, you know, and you just have to somehow sum it up. I mean, if I could write an essay on it, I would. But it might be a really long essay or a really long song. She liked it, but she goes, if you give me the words, then I'll understand it better.
I'm not a rapper, I'm not an MC, I'm a lyricist. I write lyrics. No matter what. It's the movement of the oppressed people to represent my people.
Who are you people?
My people are Latino Reales. That's like apart from Islam. Those are like just basically my cousins, my family. That's what I roll with.
Of your experience growing up influences the lyrics and the music that you make today?
Oh, it's there. Just everything. Everything I write is about my life. I'll speak it metaphorically. Like, to tell you the truth, I started running because of my best friend, and he committed suicide. And he actually told me, hey, you know, write a rhyme. And I wrote it, and he's like, I'm like, oh, it sucks. He's like, no, it was good, and he praised me for it. He gave me that encouragement, which nobody else did. And then he passed away. And I was like, you know what? I started this because of him. I come from El Salvador. That's a little small country in Central America, right? And all they know is just to work. My mom dropped out of school when she was like in grade 5. No education. We raised my older sister, and my brother, and me. And then my dad had trouble with the government, so he had to leave. So, I mean, I don't really know my dad. I already know my parents. I can never sit down and actually have a conversation. So, I think, yeah, they had a big influence on me. Of their absence. Their absence had a big influence on me. I'm so proud that she never told us that we were on welfare, but we were on welfare. You know what I mean? And I never knew that. Like, you kind of feel ashamed of what had happened in the past. So that's why I really don't like talking about it.
Well, now your song has made the finals. People are listening to it.
Well, I wouldn't say it's my song. It's an A-Slam song. I can never take credit for one thing.
But you contributed.
Yes, I
People are
contributed.
listening to your words. What do you think of that?
I'm glad. I'm glad that people can listen to actual good music rather than like talking about drugs, talking about women, talking about luxuries, debauchery, stuff like that we don't really care about. Like those things don't exist. Your parents exist. I mean, they've given you life. It's only right for you to give it back to them. When it comes down to it, you gotta be who you really are. You gotta be true to yourself. Because I mean, people are gonna pull your card. If I talk about drugs and guns, somebody's gonna be like that. But I'd rather talk about positive things. Mom, listen to the song. That's it. That's all I can say.
Make it to the top for you. If I can stand tall for a moment, I'll fall for a moment. I will make it to the limit for you. Inhale for a second, exhale for a second. I breathe that second for you.
Mothers around the world.
Every moment and I chase, every moment that embrace. While my lips with you. Now I'm in the grind, every second instead of lying. Every second gonna make it to the top for you.
Blessed be always and forevermore.